Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 2nd of July 2022. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Hermetic Tarot for today's reading, and this is a deck that's super complicated. It contains all types of symbols, astrological and otherwise. I just want to show you some of the cards so you can see what I'm talking about. So here we've got the Six of Wands, we've got Jupiter, we've got the North Node, we've got these Hebrew symbols. Oh, and by the way, last time I used this deck, I asked you guys for resources on the Hebrew symbols, and you gave me loads, so thank you for that. I downloaded an app with all the meanings of the Hebrew symbols, but I haven't memorized those yet. And to me, that as a Virgo, that's a problem because I like to know everything and I like to be able to read all the symbols. So that's on my to-do list. I'm going to have a look at those. So we've got, for instance, the cross here. To me, that indicates the intersection of the spiritual with the physical. And then this deck with the certain minor arcana cards and court cards, they add additional meanings at the bottom. So the High Priestess isn't just the High Priestess, she's also the Priestess of the Silver Star. So it really adds a lot. So let's see what the cards have to say about Saturday the 2nd and what energy you'll be working with. I'm going to choose 3 cards here to see what's going on. Let's have a look. So the first card is the Knight of Wands, the Lord of Flame and Lightning. Okay, so he's not subtle. He makes a big grand entrance. Can't really miss him. Then we've got the Moon, which is about beer. Ruler of Flux and Reflux. Okay, that sounds like acid indigestion to me. Okay. And then finally, we have the King of Cups, the Prince of the Chariot of Waters. Okay, so this is interesting because we have the Knight of Wands, who often is very angry and who's able to get a lot done because he has such intense feelings. But with these 2 water cards here, I know the Moon is a major arcana card, so it's not fundamentally about water. But usually we have a pool at the front and this little lobster coming out. So it does contain that element quite strongly. And here we have the Moon, which rules Cancer in astrology, so that's associated with water. And then we have Pisces at the center, which also is a water sign. And the King of Cups rules the element of water. So what I get is that there may be a lot of fear going on. And you have a choice. You can either make decisions based on that fear. You know, if you're afraid of something, it's much easier to go into anger than to feel that fear. Because anger is unpleasant too, but it's much easier to deal with for most people. So if I'm afraid of something, then it's far easier for me to blame someone else and to lash out than it is to actually go with the King of Cups, who feels his feelings, works through them in order not to react in a negative way. And also he's very loving and nurturing. So the message is that the process of feeling your own feelings, pleasant or otherwise, actually leads to emotional maturity. It gets you to the position of the king where you're in charge of your own feelings and emotions, and you can consistently stay in that space of being loving and positive and caring. And I feel that the cards are presenting you with a choice. If something is scary, so at the center of the reading, and also this is a major arcana card, so it refers to this big universal theme that we all experience here on planet Earth. You can either go into anger and say, oh no, I don't want to feel this. I'd rather just scream and yell. That's much more satisfying. Or you can face your emotions and as a result, grow as a person, grow as an individual. So homework-wise, this isn't the most pleasant experience, but it certainly allows you to mature and to grow and to get a better working relationship with yourself. You can get that going because whatever is happening for you internally, you're able to accept that, embrace it, and as a result, you can be much more present and you can be much more helpful to other people. Okay, so the Knight of Wands, he's obviously in the middle of something here. He's holding this burning torch. He's galloping into the situation and the perspective is head on, which usually, I've never seen that with the Knight of Wands actually. Usually we see him from the side in like a profile shot. But with him coming right at us, I think it's really nice because it represents this confrontational nature of the Knight. The Knights are always extreme, right? They either overdo it or they underdo it. They're overwhelming or underwhelming. And the Knight of Wands is about life purpose and passion. And he either takes a situation and goes completely over the top and attacks it to an extent that is not required, or he's totally absent and he's just kind of smoldering away by himself and kind of ruminating and not being useful to anything or anybody or himself. Then we've got these lightning bolts. So his intervention in a situation is dramatic. If he comes along and he starts screaming and shouting, other people are either going to be intimidated or they're going to run off. It's really not very conducive. All the fire here, fire is about cleansing and burning things away. And his intention is good. He says, well, if I'm angry, then I can maybe overcome this obstacle and maybe I won't have to be so afraid anymore. I can just attack it head on. Or I can assert myself so that this scary situation is no longer in my life and I can destroy it and I can get rid of it. Which is essential at times. If there's something that's totally blocking you, anger is there for a reason, and sometimes we need to kind of throw a temper tantrum and stomp to get things moving. But it's more about short-term results. It's not a consistent thing that you can engage with and just scream and shout all day long and expect people to work with you. Then we've got this horse, so it's about movement, or the horse head. It's about power, strength, and that's really what he embodies. And then the Lord of Flame and Lightning, again, it's not something that you're likely to miss here. So I think the first thing is to realize, how do I want to appear? Do I want to just lose it and throw my toys out of the pram, or do I want to take on a little bit of a cooler approach? Then we've got Scorpio and Sagittarius. Scorpio is a water sign that's very intense. So you'll feel your feelings very, very strongly. So again, you can't miss them. It's an opportunity to work with them and to work through them. But then we've got Sagittarius twice, which is the Centaur. And that is, movement is all that matters. The only thing I care about is setting goals and getting there. I don't care who I trample on. And if you take that approach, usually you have to eat humble pie afterwards. If you like step all over people and then the heat wears off, you're like, oh, sorry, I said that. So you can avoid kind of making amends later on, but just taking a much calmer approach. Then we have the moon. The moon, Pisces, so there's a connection with spirit here that's available to you. We've got the scarab kind of beetle with wings. So the scarab to me represents immortality and rebirth, and this infinite ability to transform yourself, and the wings are about freedom. So rather than getting angry, this card is saying that the solution to any fear is to connect with your higher self and to ask that for guidance and support. The moon is about your feelings. We've got these towers here, imposing, intimidating, and then all this mess at the bottom. So it may feel like I can't get a handle on this, it's too much. So to me, this says if there are difficult emotions and if there is fear and anxiety, one, don't try and change it, accept it for what it is. And then with all this access to the spiritual realms, hand it over to something bigger. It's that moment when you say, you know, universe, I can't deal with all of this by myself. Please take it from me. I surrender it. I'm going to throw in the towel. Help me out, please. And you may think that that's not particularly constructive to just give up as such and to surrender, but it's much better than twisting your fear into something that's aggressive and then taking actions which contain fear and anger and which are going to then have a negative outcome. It's much better to dump those feelings and to say, I give those away. And usually when you do surrender, what replaces those negative feelings is a sense of calm that kind of washes over you. So to me, this is the solution to any negative emotions you've got on this day. And then, like I said earlier, that is what growth is about. It's saying just because I feel it and it's uncomfortable doesn't mean I have to alter myself. I don't have to turn it into something else that it really isn't about. You know, like if you're having an argument with someone over the dishes, usually it's not about the dishes. Usually it's about, I don't feel seen or heard, or some sort of resentment that's been building a long time. So rather than twist it into something it isn't, by surrendering those emotions and handing them over, you access the King of Cups, which is that feeling of contentment and peace that will then arise from within. And you have this eternal ability to do that, not just on this day, but on any day. And then the King of Cups, we've got this bird here. So this is real freedom. Accepting your feelings what they are is what frees you. So you know that thing, the truth will set you free? If I accept my feelings for what they are, then that's actually what liberates me from them. Snake is wisdom. So this kind of behavior really is very advanced, kind of PhD level thinking for most of us. And it signals growth. Then we have this flower, which has kind of a halo around it. So by focusing on the beautiful things, or by transforming fear into something beautiful, like calm and serenity and peace, that's something that serves as an example to other people. And then we have the wheels here, which reminds me of the chariot, and that is true momentum. This is a journey that you want to be on that will drive you to a happy place, whereas him galloping off in some sort of lightning strike direction, we certainly have the momentum, but it's not a direction you want to go in because it'll lead you to a place that contains more fear and anger and stuff. So by aligning yourself with the King of Cups, how do you do that? One, by surrendering, having a spiritual practice in place like meditation, yoga, chanting, singing, performing, dancing, anything that makes you feel, oh, I can decompress here. I can get in touch with these positive vibes that are within me, even if they're shrouded in anger and fear and guilt and regret and resentment or whatever it is. The feelings of serenity are always there, whether they're covered up or not. So if you go digging a little bit by handing things over, they'll be easy to see and get in touch with. And then it kind of creates emotional movement and growth in the right direction, and it sorts out this mess here. That's what I feel. So number-wise, we've got 18, the moon, and then the court cards count as 1. 18 and 1 is 19, and 1 is 20. 20 reduces to 2 in numerology, and 2 is about cooperation, relationships, and communication. So the key thing is the relationship with yourself. You can really, really improve that and get yourself to a place of emotional maturity where you feel like you're on your own side and you're working with yourself, which is going to benefit you in all of your relationships. Because if you approach anything calmly and with compassion and empathy for the other person's experience, of course you're going to have a better relationship, rather than if you're some megalomaniac saying, I'm not interested in what you're saying, it's all about me. Other people don't usually respond very well to that. And then finally, because we have the court cards, I feel it's mainly about your feelings, which is what I've been talking about. But I also think there can be major conflict between two people who are coming at the same situation from two very different angles and who just fundamentally don't understand each other. You know, the Knight of Wands is going to say, hey, buddy, why are you so placid and passive? I don't like that. Like, you know, get a grip of yourself. And the King of Cups is going to say, why are you so angry all the time? What's your problem? So they really don't get on very well. And I don't want to overread into this, but the kings are the people who hire the knights, right? So sometimes the king will look down on the knight because he's like, this is the guy I want to be angry because he's going to do my dirty work. And the Knight of Wands may have some resentment towards his employer. It's like, why am I not the king? Why am I just a knight at the round table? What's that about? So rather than trying to get people to understand you and to meet in the middle somewhere, I really feel that just accepting that certain people may not do things the way you do them, and that is right for them, and it's not even relevant whether you understand it or not, and that is okay. I feel that's what's going to diffuse the situation. And the one thing that I feel they can agree on is that they both have emotional stuff going on, and that they're both just trying to get to a place of contentment and happiness. So, you know, like when you have an argument with someone and it's like you're in the middle of a fight or something, and and then something comes over you and you stop talking for a second and you just hug that person, or you just blurt out, "Do you know what, I love you." That's the kind of thing that can really diffuse things, because you're getting to a place of shared emotional experience. So if there is major conflict with other people, I feel that what you have in common and focusing on that, because even these two will have something in common, if it's the employment situation or if it's a shared goal or experience or whatever. Just by focusing on one simple truth that both of you can agree on, I feel that will diffuse things too. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, please. Hit subscribe and share the video online. And also, I've been doing lives lately, so if you want to be notified of when I go live, then click on the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And in my personal readings, I do use the tarot, I use numerology, and I use astrology. Tarot, numerology, astrology. Yep. The astrology chart I draw up by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you have any questions about what you can work on, or your life purpose, or relationships, or finance, or anything practical or abstract, and you want to get some clarity on yourself and understand yourself better, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.